Islam to all the nations of the earth, and the Asiatic nations of North America, and the Moabites of the Moorish Science Temple of America. When the prophet Noble Drew Ali came on the scene, the prophet said, I'm going to take you up on an apparatus and put you on an incline where you'll be safe. What the prophet meant by that was that apparatus is the Moorish Science Temple of America, and that incline is that star and that crescent. You're that star. When the prophet take you up on an apparatus, the Moorish Science Temple of America will take you there and put you on that incline where you will be safe. You know, when the prophet Noble Drew Ali came on the scene, the prophet said, if you have race pride and you love your race, join the Moorish Science Temple of America and become a part of this divine movement. Then you have the power to redeem your race because you will know who you are and your forefathers were. Because where there's unity, there's strength. Together we stand, divided we fall. Our holy and divine prophet Noble Drew Ali said, come, good people, because I, the prophet, sent to redeem this nation from mental slavery, which you have now. Need every one of you who think that their condition can be better. The prophet said this is a field open to strong men and women to uplift the nation and take their place in the affairs of men. If the European and other nations are helping me, why not you? It is your problem. The Negro problem is being solved only as it can. That is by the Moorish National Divine Movement. If you have a nation, you must have a free national name in order to be recognized by this nation as an American citizen. This is what was meant when it said, seek ye first the kingdom of heaven, and all these things will be added unto you. But so often, our various journalists and some of our own people find trouble in selecting the proper name for the Moorish American. Some say Negro, another brand race man, still another call him Afro-American. And then come colored, dark American, Coon, Shine, the Brethren, my dog, 50 cent of a dollar, Dad, Pops, G, Monetti, all these nicknames, Iceberg Slim, and your folks. It is indeed a hard matter to find something suitable for the various occasion where a title needs to be used. Is it that these people have no proper name? Did they have a national name when first brought to these shores in the early part of the 17th century? And if so, what was it? Did not the land from which they were forced have a name? It now appears a good idea for those whose duty it is to write for those various journals to find out what the national name of the forefathers of these people was. Also, look into the history of the founders of civilization and see who they were and where they stood in the building of the present civilization. The prophet said probably 2 hours in an up-to-date library would serve to relieve strain on our men of letters. Now, when the occasion presents itself for a title for these people, the matter of the various names given to these 22 million people with all colors of every race of the globe was an act of European psychology. See, they gave them a name, then they found something inferior to theirs. White, they define the color purity. Black, they say, represents everything of evil. The Negro, as they were called in this nation, have no nation to which he might look with pride. Their history starts with the close of the Civil War, more probably his being forced to serve someone else. Thus, he's separated from the illustrious history of his forefathers, who were the founders of the first civilization of the old world. The prophet said this matter should be looked into with the hope of correcting it, and the fallen sons and daughters of the Asiatic nations of North America needs to learn to love instead of hate, and to know of their higher self and lower self. This Moorish Science Temple of America is the uniting of the Holy Quran in Mecca for teaching and instructing all Moorish Americans, etc. The key of civilization was and is in the hands of the Asiatic nations, the Moorish, who were the ancient Moabites and the founders of the holy city of Mecca, the Egyptians, who were the Hammatites, and of a direct descendant of Mizraim, the Arabians, the seeds of Hagar, Japanese and Chinese, the Hindus of India, the descendants of the ancient Canaanites, Hittites, and Moabites from the land of Canaan, the Asiatic nations and countries in North, South, and Central America, The Moorish Americans and Mexicans here in North America, Brazilians, Argentinians, and Chileans in South America, Colombians, Nicaraguans, and the natives of San Salvador in Central America, etc. All of these are Muslims. The Turks are the true descendants of Hagar, who are the chief protectors of the Islamic creed of Mecca, beginning from Muhammad I, the founder of the Uniting of Islam by the command of the great universal God Allah. You see, Islam is a very simple faith. It requires man to recognize his duties toward God Allah, his creator, and his fellow creatures. It teaches the supreme duty of living at peace with one's surroundings. It is preeminently the religion of peace. The very name Islam means peace. The goal of a man's life, according to Islam, is peace with everything, peace with Allah and peace with man. The Quran, the holy book of Islam, tells us that the final abode of man is the house of peace, where no vain word or simple discourse will be heard. El Holy and Divine Prophet Noble Drew Ali says that a follower of Islam, in the true sense of the word, is one whose hands, tongue, and thoughts do not hurt others. Object of man's life, according to Islam, is this complete unfoldment. Islam teaches that man is born with unlimited capacities for progress. Islam does not support the idea that man was born in sin. It teaches that everyone has within him the seeds of perfect development, and it rests solely with himself to make or mar his fortune. The cardinal doctrine of Islam is the unity of the Father Allah. We believe in one God, Allah, who is all God, all mercy, and all power. He's perfect and holy, all wisdom, all knowledge, and all truth. These are some of his great attributes so far as we can understand. He's free from all defects, holy and transcendent. He's personal to us insofar as we see his attributes working for us and in us. But he is nevertheless impersonal because he's infinite, perfect, and holy. We do not believe that death, decay, or sleep overtake him. Neither do we believe that he is a helplessly inactive and inherent force. Nothing happens without his knowledge and will. He neither begets nor is he begotten, because these are the traits of frail and weak humanity. This unity of Allah is the first and foremost pillar of Islam, and every other belief hangs upon it. But in this age, there is still much religious controversy as to the right thing. You got big and powerful ministers who have come to the conclusion that something is wrong. Some say it is the Ten Commandments. Others say there's a lack of sincerity in the purpose of the churches. And still others think that it is all worthless and not fit for the time it takes to attend it. Well, however, whatever their final decision might be, it is certain that they will make a change, or rather, try to make one. Fact of the matter is that they have always had only a reflection of the truth and not the real thing. Like one who holds up to the sun and mirror and casts a few of its diverted rays in a different direction, so have they done with the truth that is supposed to come from the east. There are but few people who know what the truth is about man, and that few know that it is foolish to try to impart it to the ignorant. Although the ignorant has finished college, he's a fool right on, being trained to jump through a hoop. The longer he stays in the schools, the better he can jump, and more vivid will he defend his jumps. From the east comes all light. But though the sun is hanging at high noon, the blind cannot see. The same as the Islamic creed from the east was brought to the Asiatics of America by the Prophet Noble Drew Ali and offered to those who were sick at heart, charged for many years. Yet they're blind and cannot see the light. Nor is the Prophet trying to put new wine in old skins, for he knows that it will burst them. Still, he has the only remedy for the nations, the remedies brought by Jesus, Muhammad, Buddha, Confucius, and all the other prophets, which remedy is truth. The nations do not want the truth. It is too stern. But until they accept it and find out where it is, there will continue to be religious controversy. You know, the foundation of Christianity began in Rome. It was the Roman nations who founded the first church, of whom crucified Jesus of Nazareth, for seeking to redeem his people from under the Roman yoke and law. Now, Jesus himself was of the true blood of the ancient Canaanites and Moabites and the inhabitants of Africa, seeking to redeem his people in those days from the on-hand oppression of the pale-skinned nations of Europe. Rome crucified him according to their law. Then Europe had peace for a long time, until Muhammad I came upon the scene and fulfilled the works of Jesus of Nazareth. The holy teachings of Jesus was to the common people to redeem them from under the great pressure of the hands of the unjust, that the rulers and the rich would not oppress the poor. Also that the lion and the lamb may lie down together, and neither would be harmed when morning came. These teachings were not accepted by the rulers, neither by the rich, because they loved the principles of the Ten Commandments. You see, through the Ten Commandments, the rulers and the rich live while the poor suffer and die. The lamb is the poor people. The lion is the rulers and the rich. And through love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, all men are one and equal to seek their own destiny and to worship under their own divine victory after the principles of the holy and divine laws of their forefathers. All the nations of the earth in these modern days are seeking peace. But there's but one true and divine way that peace may be obtained in these days, and it is through love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice being taught universally to all nations in all lands. But in this electrified age, men are racing into this life without complete knowledge of where they're going or what the end will be, when riches seems to be their only pursuit, to be obtained anyway and at any cost, when selfishness, avarice, greed, and lust dominate their very being, when humanity in general is left at the mercy of those who have no mercy in them. It is truly wonderful and astounding to see one come into this mad human drama for the sole purpose of saving humanity, losing all sight on those things worldly, and yielding absolutely to a cause higher than has ever yet been attained. This picture is the likeness of Prophet Noble Drew Ali, who is serving humanity, coming as he does with a message for the nations, in somewhat the same manner as did Jesus, Muhammad, Buddha, Confucius, and other prophets of their day. Only the things of this prophet's day differ from the ills of the days of the past, and yet the remedies for the ills of today is about the same as the remedies for the days past. All turning about the power of love, love for humanity. You see, humanity must be lifted from the unwholesome depths of poverty, misery, and suffering, and placed on the solid rock of salvation. Now, there are some who claim to do this, but upon investigation, one finds that they were slouched under the wings of their cross to extract from those who come to them means by which they can have the pleasures of this life while they point their followers to joy after death. You see, while they feed their sheep, they also shear them while eating. At the close of their day, the master will be heard to tell them, "You have your reward, get thee hence." Rare is it that you find a real prophet whose mission is the salvation of the nations. The land is full of false prophets whose mission is to fleece the people. The time was and now is that there should come into the land a prophet in the likeness of his brothers to redeem them from sin and slavery. Truly this prophet Noble Drew Ali is the man, bringing with him the message of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, which alone can save the nations. Like the coming of Jesus, he does not come from the elect, nor the rich, nor the mighty in worldly power, but all power is given unto him to do good. This power is from Allah. It will be his works that will make men of every nation accept the truth that he brings. It will be through his teachings that the nations of the earth will understand the will of the Master. It will be through him that peace on earth and goodwill to all men shall come. It will be through his work that humanity will be brought from the slime of life and placed on the solid rock of salvation. Moors are men, upright, independent, and fearless, who care for their loved ones and follow the prophet to a destiny which is not uncertain nor unknown. They're fortified by the impregnable doctrine, built upon love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. It is therefore folly at its greatest height for smelly corporates with their insidious plans to invade such realm. They try and try, but their own bad planning brings their wrath upon their heads like the sword old Damocles had. Intrigue and scurrilous cunnings find a difficult path to travel within the ranks of the Moors. This is so because the Moorish movement has been well planned by Prophet Noble Drew Ali, whose latent powers are abundant, unknown, and may be called into action as a matter of defense at any moment. Prophet Noble Drew Ali knows the people within his ranks who are interested. The vanguard of the Moorish movement as the Moorish hordes increase here in America. All the Moors are active, not passive. A member's interest can only be in one direction, and having traveled over the road years before, the prophet knows every member is along the road. Now, a few feet below is another road where schemers walk, where traitors grin, and corporates bask in the sun. They think they're on the same road with true Moors, but the Moors high above on the pinnacle, where they might view the destructionists as they fall for the last time and their bones bleach in the sultry midday sun. Hungry scavengers flying high catch scent. Devour and reeve, crying out, "Gave you them to cast out the dead carcass." The Moors, high above, see these plotters, purveyors, the worst that exists, hurl themselves downward by their own works as the hawks wait. I'm going to take you backwards through the most ancient of days, where masterminds can trace themselves, and thus they know. Time never was when man was not. If life of man at any time began, a time would come when it would end. The thoughts of Allah cannot be circumscribed. No finite mind can comprehend things infinite. All finite things are subject unto change. All finite things will cease to be, because there was a time when they were not. The bodies and the souls of men are finite things, and they will change. Yes. From the finite point of view, the time will come when they will be no more. But man himself is not the body nor the soul. He is a spirit and a part of Allah. Creative fate gave to man, to spirit man, a soul that he might function on the plane of soul. Gave him a body of flesh that he might function on the plane of things that are made manifest. But why? Why did creative fate give to spirit man a soul that he might function on the plane of the soul? Why did creative fate give to soul a body of flesh that he might function on the plane of things that are made manifest? Well, here now ye worlds, dominions, powers, and thrones. Here now ye cherubims, ye seraphims, ye angels, and ye men. Here now all protoplasm, and earth, and plant, and beast. Here now ye creeping things of earth, your fish that swim, your birds that fly. Here now ye winds that blow, your thunders, and ye lightnings of the sky. Here now ye spirits of the fire, of water, earth, and air. Here now everything that is or was or evermore will be. For wisdom speaks from out of the highest plane of spirit life. Man is a thought of Allah. All thoughts of Allah are infinite. They are not measured up by time. For the things that are concerned with time began and end. The thoughts of Allah are from the everlasting of the past until the never-ending days to come. And so is man, the spirit man. But man, like every other thought of Allah, was but a seed that held within itself the potencies of Allah. Just as the seed of any plant of earth holds deep within itself the attributes of every part of that its special plant. So, spirit man, as seed of Allah, held deep within himself the attributes of every part of Allah. Now, seeds are perfect, yes, as perfect as the source from which they come, but they're not unfolded into life made manifest. The child in utero is perfect as the mother is. So man, the seed, must be deeply planted in a soil that he might grow, unfold, as does the bud unfold to show the flower. The human seed that came forth from the heart of Allah was fully ordained to be the Lord of the plane of soul and of the plane of things made manifest. So Allah, the husbandman of everything that is, threw forth this human seed into the soil of soul. It grew at pace, and man became a living soul, and he became the Lord of all the kingdom of the soul. Hark now, let every creature hear. The plane of the soul is but the ether of the spirit plane, vibrating not so fast. And in the slower rhythm of this plane, the essence of life are manifested. The perfumes and the odors, the true sensations, and the all of love manifest. And these soul attributes become about it beautiful. A multitude of lessons man must learn upon the plane of soul. And here he tarries many ages until his lessons are all learned. Now, upon the boundary of the plane of soul, the ether began to vibrate slower still. And then the essence took on a final garb. The perfumes and the odors, the true sensations, and the all of love were clothed in flesh, and man was clothed in flesh. Perfected man must pass through all the ways of life, and so a carnal nature full manifested, a nature that sprang forth from fleshy things. Without a foe, a soldier never knows his strength, and thought must be developed by the exercise of strength. And so, this carnal nature soon became a foe that man must fight, that he might be the strength of Allah made manifest. Let every living thing stand still here. Man is the Lord of all the plane of manifestors, of protoplasm, of mineral, of plant, of beast, but he has given up his birthright just to gratify his lower self. But man will regain his lost estate, his heritage, but he must do it in a conflict that cannot be told in words. Yes, he must suffer trials and temptations, manifold, but let him know that cherubim and seraphim who rules the stations of the sun, and spirits of the Almighty God Allah, who rules the solar stars, are his protectors and his guides, and they will lead to victory. Man will be fully saved, redeemed, perfected by the things he suffers on the plane of flesh and on the plane of soul. When man has conquered carnal things, his God of flesh within him serve his purpose well, and it will fall, will be no more. Then he will stand untrampled on the plane of soul, where he must fully complete his victories. Unnumbered foes will stand before the man upon the plane of soul. There he must overcome. Yes, overcome them every one. Thus, hope will ever be his beacon light. There is no failure for the human soul, for Allah's leading on and victory is sure. Man cannot die. The spirit man is one with Allah, and while Allah lives, man cannot die. When man has conquered every foe upon the plane of soul, the seed will have fully opened out, will have unfolded in the holy breath. The garb of soul will then have served its purpose well, and man will need it nevermore, and it will pass and be no more, and man will then attain unto the blessedness of perfectness and be at one with Allah. Time never was when man was not, because man was, is, and always will be a part of Allah. Islamism. Peace out.